Sir, you're charged with especially aggravated kidnapping. You're also charged with aggravated assault, and you're charged with theft of a firearm worth less than $2,500.
You're talking about stuff that is not relevant.
Hello and welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the Recovery Addict, and boy do I have a case for you today.
Why is the dog chewing on this guy?
I think they have got the wrong guy
They
there.
got the wrong guy. The dog was biting him.
He roughened him up quite a bit. There's a lawsuit.
This is the next search on February 28, 2020, 7:44 p.m. How, does the FBI find people? And people misspelled P-E-O-O-P-L-E.
I object.
Did the defendant find out how the FBI finds people in this case? Well, she found out.
What more do you need to see?
All right, welcome back to the Court of Public Opinion. I'm the Recovery Addict. Good afternoon. Hopefully your lunch was as good as mine was. Delicious salad. I probably had enough bacon on my salad, bacon bits, that it probably did not count as a salad anymore. It was really good. It was delicious. It was delicious. Bacon bits for the win. They were yummy. All right, we are getting set to jump back into. Let's see where we're at. Right there we go.
If they didn't, I would lose my mind.
I need a place to put my water that's not right there. All right, bacon lots. Yeah.
Just sent me a video of roaches fighting. I don't know who won.
I don't know who won. I have to say the trick to bacon bits on a salad is you get the bacon bits and you
The
put
zombie apocalypse may be upon us.
You put them in a little bowl and then you put them in the microwave and you cook them. So they come out as if they're just hot off the griddle, little bits of bacon. Plus, I think it melts away all the fat, so it's all just healthy. Real bacon bits. Of course, real bacon. We buy it in bulk at Sam's Club. And the problem with buying in bulk items I use a little bit of is I feel like I need to use it all before it goes bad. So I use a lot of bacon bits. Anyway, it was very good. Had a nice salad, usual dressing, the Olive Garden Italian. Did chopped mozzarella, actually chopped string cheese on it. Judy, she knows what I'm talking about. They're good bacon bits. Of course, they're all real, 100% real. Bacon, the great forgotten food group. Bacon is good. This is real bacon. This is real bacon. Not like the little things that look like shredded jerky. Sam's Club size dressing. I buy it there, but it comes in a 2-pack, and then they last me a long time.
I saw a chicken fight.
Saw a chicken fighting. All right. Let's see. We have court about to get started here in just a moment. Let's get some audio back on. That's not it.
Have them send someone with more experience.
What did I just do? I just jumped to somebody else's trial. This is McBurney.
Alex stole it as well.
What's McBurney doing here? Let's see. There's this one. Let's see what else we have. Wait for it. Just need audio. Okay, we've got audio. That's good. Now let's fix our other one. Nancy D. Woohoo! Made it to 1 year. Thank you. All right, Nancy. Thank you. That is awesome. Absolutely wonderful. Congratulations.
Shame on you, sir.
Shame on you, sir. Let's see. There we go. Go to channel. I think it's this one. Yep, that'll work. Okay, so I think we've got everything lined up for court as soon as it comes back, which is good, because we don't want to miss anything. I think it's going to be spicy. Where did chicken come from? Chicken was actually from Judge Cedric Simpson's court. I think it was. And a guy was saying how he'd been in jail and his experience was crazy. Like he'd been on drugs in jail. And he's like, yeah, I saw crazy stuff I'd never seen before. I saw a chicken fighting. I think it was Simpson that was talking. Or maybe it was Wolf. Was it Simpson or Wolf? I forget which one that was. No biggie, but we aren't seeing messages on the screen. That's good. That's good. That's all right. No, I have to actually say congratulations to Adam Waterdrop Nusky.
I think I'm about to catch a whooping.
About to catch a whooping.
I was kicked back, taking it easy.
Adam won the internet this afternoon. Thank you very much, my friend. Adam, congratulations. It's not easy to win the internet, but you managed to make it look so. Let's see. Hope you had a good lunch. I had a great lunch, which means I'm probably going to have a great nap this afternoon. I invite you all to witness that as it happens. Okay.
Don't miss the forest for the trees.
Let's see. We've got. Oh, I need to change the logo. I need an extra media slot for pictures.
When are we going to break for lunch, Judge?
We just broke for lunch. Allison says, crap, I just ate a whole sleeve of fudge stripes. Those are good. Those are really good. Also, Mrs. R.A., well, she didn't make me cookies. She made the kids' cookies. Big, giant chocolate chip cookies, and they are delicious. I might have had 2 or 3 of those before I had my salad. So I guess I'm not quite on the health food kick yet, but they were really good. Let's see. We have... Oh, it's working. We're good. It's working. No problems. Everything's good. I'm excited. Oh, I need to start the recording. That's it. I knew there was something I needed to do. Then we'll import the media to the switch, to the replay machine. So we'll have all that for replay this afternoon. Hyperdeck shuttle. Bingo. That was the wrong one. All right. Nope. Come on. Okay. There we go. What a healthy lunch you had. Yes, thank you, Mel. I was thinking that, but now that I go back and actually document everything I ate, it probably wasn't the healthiest. I had good intentions, and it did include salad. But yeah, was not the best. A salad takes away at least 2 cookies, so I sort of broke even, really, when you look at it. If you don't count the bacon, I broke even overall, which is good. Arm's family is doing a carnivore diet, and they're liking it. They said it was difficult after a couple, like day 5 or something. And I'm not sure. I'm waiting to hear like their overall take on this. Arm's family is absolutely amazing, by the way, as far as just individuals and people, you know, just as people and also as YouTubers. I love what they do. Paved with good intentions. Yes, that's what they say. I went easy on the salad dressing. That's got to be worth a point or 2 as well. Wasn't the carnivore diet just the Atkins diet before? Yeah, and didn't that guy like die from like heart disease or something? What is carnivore all about? What's the I haven't read it yet. I was sort of waiting for the Arms family to give their end of diet synopsis. Yes, he died while jogging. Oh no. That's why I don't exercise, folks. No, just kidding. I'm allergic to exercise. As soon as I start doing it, I immediately just break out in sweat. It's terrible. Anything that comes from an animal meat, dairy, eggs, and it's just all good. Anything goes. So it's like ribeye steak for breakfast, scrambled eggs for lunch. What does it promise you? I mean, what is the? Because I'm pretty sure I'm more of like moderation in all things, That's more of my approach. Not obviously today's lunch excluded, but in dieting. Roast beef on Swiss on wheat. That sounds really good. Was it melted? Did you heat it up or just do a cold cut? I don't know what day 5. See, Dr. Atkins died from a fall. I was 30 pounds on the diet. But did he fall while he was running, and was it from heart disease that caused him to fall? That's all I'm asking. I don't know. I've heard good things about it. I had some friends who did it and loved it and just felt great doing it. And, it changed them quite a bit. I had sushi on Saturday. I did my gig first couple hours, and then we had a break, and I ran to the store. I got Sam's Club sushi. I'm okay with eating Sam's Club sushi for some reason. I won't eat other sushis, but Sam's Club sushi is good. The fact that Keith Richards outlived Richard Simmons makes me rethink diet and exercise, says Debbie. Oh, man. How does one stop drinking soda is the question. I just fall asleep during the day. That's how it does. But I am feeling better now. It probably takes a good 1 to 2 weeks after consuming a fair amount of soda on a regular basis to start to feel different. What is that they have? Is that belts? Is he holding belts in his hand? They're saying bring the bailiffs. Is that a stun belt? I didn't see any. Yeah. Kathy Trout says, now I am huge in the RA rapper world, or am I just huge? One of the two. Couldn't afford to go on the carnivore diet. That is a concern for sure. Kenny, you and I can be friends. Sam's Club sushi is good, but I only eat the cooked stuff, not the actual raw fish, anything. Amanda says, I've had no caffeine and drink nothing but water since February. That's impressive. I had like half a gallon of lemonade on Saturday as well, and that was probably too much sugar. Intermittent fasting. I think the moral of the story is as long as you put some effort and stick to the plan on your diet, it will work. Whether it's carnivore or all veggies or something else. As long as you just stick to your plan, it's good. So I'm going to go on the seafood diet. If I see food, I'm going to eat it. Oh, man. Good stuff. Eat healthy. You only get one body, right? Stopped drinking Diet Coke about 6 months ago. I like water with frozen pineapple chunks in it. Selena, I have to say, I only like pineapple chunks if they're on pizza. I just cannot eat them. It's that and coconut, the two things that I just cannot eat. Brenda, stay safe in the storm. They're up there in Ohio. You guys get a few good storms coming through there. It sounds like you've got one this afternoon. Anyway, now that we've had lunch and continued to talk about food, let's get ready to talk about court as we get ready for defense, who is much more animated and much easier to listen to than our prosecutor. Defense is going to question this witness, and this is, I believe, like a lead investigator. He has retired. I forget what the guy's name was. Depney or something like that. Debney. He's retired. But he oversaw the whole case. There's our defendant right there. Brings his own legal pad. Guess he was scribbling a few notes on the break. It's all good. Prosecutor is awesome on 1.5 or even 2 times speed, I think. How do you get past not wanting carbonation? Brandy, it's a mental thing. Oh. Is the bailiff tying his tie? What's he doing there? It's a clip-on. Did he just put a clip on? I think it was a clip-on tie. I missed it. You guys, that's cheating, by the way. Egg salad and crackers for lunch. Might be, sounds good. Clip-on for the win. No. The last time I wore a clip-on, I think I was 10. You got to tie a tie. You're a man now. You got to learn how to tie that knot. All right.
Is that it? Is that it?
Steady.
Can we go back on the record?
Court's back in session.
Yeah. Just real quick, and this is by consent. Both of the parties noticed that on the bottom of Exhibit 57, there's some notes that weren't intended for jury view.
Okay.
So the proposal is to wipe these notes off at the bottom of 50. Did I say 57?
You said 57.
On the bottom of 57.
Just white out.
Okay, so has that been done, or you going to see what you
Mr. Evans is going to do that for us.
Okay.
He's better at the white out than I am.
It's hard for me to get straight. Are you using like the bottle with the brush, or are you using the roll-on? I think he's using the roll-on.
Are they out there, or are they still back out
You're clicking. It's not working very well. Oh, that was the keyboard. Never mind. I'm not one to brag, but I can sync up feeds to the exact frame really well now. So I'm bragging. Law dogs wear clip-ons for safety reasons, says Ricky Watson. Can't you just have like tearaway ties?
Satisfactory.
All good.
Bring the jury in.
Yes, you will.
Jury's now entering into the court.
You will bring the jury.
If someone grabbed it, it'll just come off. Why don't you just wear like a shirt that has a picture of a tie?
Good afternoon, Sergeant Dabney. First, let me just say I feel for you. I was in that same predicament about 2 years ago. So I hope you feel better soon.
But you
so
won't.
I want to go over some of the things you testified to when you were in direct with the state, okay?
Yes, sir.
A couple of things you talked about is one of the lead detectives on this case was your role anytime you approach a crime scene. Right? I think you testified that you're there to collect facts.
Correct.
Try to preserve evidence.
Correct.
Right? So that you can investigate and find out who done it, essentially. Correct?
Correct.
Agree with me, it's super important when you're going on a crime scene to preserve the crime scene.
Correct.
Right? Because you don't want to corrupt evidence. Is that correct? You also want to exhaust every avenue possible to try to find evidence. Is that accurate?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so that's why you said you talked about forensic testing. you collect things in a certain way on a crime scene so that you can then provide that to CSI or the TBI or whoever that could actually test it to see if it can give you more information. Is that fair?
Fair.
Now, a couple of things. I'll start with the initial video. I'm going to try to go in chronological order as to how you hit it earlier on direct. You talked about the handgun and the rifle, style, assault rifle style weapon in the video. And at one point in time you said that the handgun that was being held by one of the people was consistent with a .40 caliber. It's probably more accurate to say, it's consistent with any pistol. Could have been any caliber pistol, correct?
Correct.
Just by looking.
Just by looking.
Right. And when you say consistent with a .40 caliber, you're really basing that off of the shell casings you would have found out in the parking lot. Is that correct?
Shell casings and handguns.
Okay. But there was nothing significant that you can tell from that video that can tell you that's a .40 caliber versus a 9mm versus a .380 or a .45. Okay. Now, you testified that you never recovered the murder weapons, correct?
Correct.
And you were asked a question of, in kind of normal course, if you recover bullets from a scene, right, and or casings from a scene, and you have a weapon you can test it against, that you can take the ballistics and they can run testing to see if it matches. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Now, even if you don't recover the weapon, is it possible to determine a caliber, what potential caliber a fired bullet would have been? So, you pull a fired bullet from the wall at Makita Cookie or from some other place where those bullets went. Is there a way to test that and go, is this a .40 caliber? Is this a .7.62? Is this a 9? Or
I'm sure it is. That would be the crime scene that collected it, whoever they sent it off to test it.
Okay. And just to be clear, at Makita Cookie, y'all recovered several bullets and bullet fragments from various locations at Makita Cookie. Is that correct?
Correct.
As far as you know, was any testing done of those bullets and or bullet fragments to determine whether they were .40 caliber or .7.62 rounds?
Are you saying the bullets or the casing?
The bullets.
Bullets? No, I'm not aware.
Okay. And you also received back into evidence from the medical examiner several bullets and bullet fragments. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And to your knowledge, at any point in time, did anyone try to test those, not to put them to a firearm because you didn't have the particular firearm, but to determine what caliber of bullets were recovered from Mr. Thornton?
Should possibly, yes. The crime scene or whoever took custody of those bullets.
Okay. You're saying it's possible, but are you aware of any testing? Okay. Now, I want to switch over to Bradley, right? And you recovered the Mercedes from Bradley. Now, you were asked about video. And you had, because you had video from Makita Cookie, correct?
Yes.
And you had video from Crosstown.
Yes.
And you had video from Valero.
Yes.
And I believe Mr. Hagerman asked you, did you canvass the Bradley neighborhood for any video?
Officers canvassed. We had other investigators that canvassed the area.
And you also, I think, testified that you knew that Hernandez Govan lived across the street from Bradley.
Yes.
And you and I think other officers at some point in time interviewed Cornelius Smith. Is that right? Let me ask you this. Did you go to Mr. Govan's house to see about whether he had camera footage?
Other investigators walked up and down. I don't know if they went to his house, but usually walk down and see if they see any cameras affixed to a house outside the house.
Okay. And when you say cameras, they knock too, right?
Yes.
Right. So you have cameras.
Yes.
And at some point in time, you became aware of Mr. Govan as a potential suspect in the case.
Yes.
Right? So that, as Mr. Hagerman's word, you became very interested in him.
Yes.
As time went on. Do you recall there being anyone of the officers in the case, you as one of the lead detectives in the case, reporting to you that there were cameras directly across the street from Bradley, where the white Mercedes would have been, facing the Bradley property, the abandoned house where the Mercedes was? Do you recall Cornelius Smith in any of his interviews with law enforcement that you can recall ever saying that Hernandez Govan had cameras at his house that faced the Bradley house?
No, I don't recall that.
And a lot of investigators in this case, right?
Yes.
Working hard to try to find evidence.
Yes.
Correct? I bet you would agree with me if somebody had told you Hernandez Govan has cameras facing where that white car was, you would have been over there, or somebody would have been over there tracking down that lead, right?
No attempted to, yes.
Right. And you're not aware of, at least right now, whether anybody ever even spoke to Mr. Govan specifically and asked him about cameras?
No.
So you said you processed the Mercedes. So there's or others, you know it was processed.
Processing.
And there's a level of processing that occurs while the car's still on Bradley. Is that correct? Or do y'all just hook it up and tow it?
Hook it up and tow it.
Okay.
Process it at another location.
Okay. Now, when you saw the vehicle on Bradley, do you remember there being any bullet holes in the car?
I think there were. I'm not sure. May have been the window broken out or something to that effect.
Okay. And to be clear, the window that was broken out, and I can pass you the exhibits, some of these exhibits that were previously marked. One is Exhibit 53, Exhibit 49, and Exhibit 43 of the white Mercedes. They'll kind of give you something to look at, refresh your recollection. In those photographs, does it appear that the passenger side window is not there?
Yes.
All right. Was there broken glass anywhere around the car or in the car that you recall?
Not that I recall.
Okay. Now, and I've got one other image here. It's exhibit number 10. It's also of the white Mercedes. Was there any places on that Mercedes that you can remember seeing on the exterior of the car any bullet holes?
Not from the picture.
Okay. Now, some of those photographs where the vehicle is being processed, the outside of the car has like black powder all over it.
Yes.
Is that done for fingerprint purposes?
Yes.
Okay. And I believe you've already testified to this, but there were several prints recovered from the vehicle. Is that right?
That's correct.
Mr. Smith, Cornelius Smith.
Correct.
Trayon Ingram.
Yes.
And Kristen Gardner.
Yes.
Mr. Justin Johnson's fingerprints were not recovered from that vehicle, correct?
They were not.
Now, you also were asked about DNA, and I can retrieve those from you if you'd like. You were also asked about DNA, and I believe the question was, there was no DNA evidence or evidence of blood in the car. Okay. Now, to be clear, there was actually DNA testing done, touch DNA testing done on at least 8 places inside the car, right? And they did swabs. Is that correct? And that's where a tech goes in and they're swiping different parts of the vehicle to see if there's any DNA that can be detected.
Yes.
Are you aware of what the technician looks for when they decide, like, what areas they're going to swab for DNA?
No, I'm not.
Okay. But as far as you know, were there any reports generated about whether DNA existed?
Reports that they didn't have a match to anything that was submitted.
All right, so your recollection is that there are reports, or was a report, that there was not a DNA match to the touch DNA, but there was DNA recovered.
Yes, I guess so.
Okay, and I'm asking you. I'm not telling you. I'm asking you what you recall.
Trick questions here.
Now, when you get DNA results, do they typically, from TBI, when you send them to TBI, they typically come back on kind of a letterhead from TBI. Is that correct? And let you know?
That I know of.
All right. And in fact, one of the items that was recovered from the Mercedes was a chapstick. Do you recall that?
Yes,
and
certain things recovered inside the
and in fact, that chapstick was sent along with the touch DNA swabs the chapstick was sent to the TBI for testing. And came back with a major DNA profile of a male, but couldn't be excluded down to anything beyond a male. You recall that? No. Okay. If I were to show you the report, would it refresh your recollection? Now, do you have any specific knowledge of the touch DNA swabs being sent to the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation? All right, so you can't say whether those were actually ever sent, right? Because if they had been sent, the report that I just showed you, you would have had something back from them saying either there's no identifiable DNA or there was, and then they would analyze it further, correct?
Correct.
If that wasn't sent, if the touch DNA samples weren't sent to for further testing, you would agree with me that would be a problem for your investigation.
Could be.
Right? Because touch DNA, if they recovered something, that could point you directly to a person. Right, with scientific fact, right? Going, this is the person that touched that part of the car.
Yes.
And you don't know until you try, right? So you don't know unless you test it. Okay. Right. And if you didn't test it, that's an avenue of investigation for establishing facts and evidence that was kind of left unattended. Fair?
Okay.
Now, you told Mr. Hagerman, and we talked about this, you said, and no evidence of blood in the car. Now, somebody who works in the department with you, Sergeant Coburn, he did a lot of the processing of this vehicle, correct?
Yeah, all the processing.
And at some point, he even used something called Blue Star. You know what Blue Star is?
It's like luminol.
What's Blue Star?
It's an agent that they use to spray for location of blood inside on things.
Right. And you would agree with me that Blue Star is something they can, they spray it and they put a light on it and it'll light up if there's blood or biological material that has been there, correct?
Correct. My knowledge is.
And they can even use Blue Star on places where people think they have wiped down or cleaned, and it will still show. Right? That's that horrible thing they do in the hotel rooms, right? Where they do that and freak everybody out.
It's not horrible.
Yeah. So
they should do it in every hotel room.
Now, Sergeant Coburn used Blue Star inside the Mercedes. And if you recall, inside of the driver's door, above the armrest, the Blue Star reacted with a very bright chemoluminescence, I think is the way he says it here, which is a hard word to say. And he took swabs of that as well. Right? So from what you know of Blue Star, is Blue Star something that if you shine it and it lights up, that's typically an indication of blood or some biological material that's been in that area.
That's what I've been told.
Right.
Not an expert.
Sure. And Sergeant Coburn, obviously, who processes for these things, if he swabbed it twice, it definitely showed it to be of some evidentiary importance to him to determine, is this biological or not? Would you agree with that?
I would. Right.
And as you sit here today, are you aware of the results of any testing that came back on the swabs for the Blue Star?
I don't remember those.
Okay. Like we talked about earlier, if you had tested that and it had come back, it could have potentially had DNA evidence on it, right?
I'm assuming yes.
And that would have been very important as one of those evidentiary facts that you would have used in your investigation. Correct. And if you didn't have that and it existed, it puts you at a disadvantage of knowing all of the evidence and all the facts. Correct. Could have. So let's go to the Valero video. So the Valero video, you see several different vehicles arrive at Valero. Person I think you identified as Kristen Gardner is pumping gas from the white Mercedes. Correct. Right? And then he drives that white Mercedes off up to the top of the screen. And then I think you said you see somebody, you can't tell who it is, but you see an individual get out of another vehicle, Kristen Gardner get out of the white Mercedes, and someone gets inside the white Mercedes. Correct. That you said was not wearing the same clothes that Kristen Gardner was wearing just moments earlier. Correct. Or maybe even seconds earlier. Very quick. Right. But right after that exchange is made, doesn't another car pull up in front of the white Mercedes and sit for some period of time? It does. Right. And to be fair, you would agree with me, you can't see what's going on with the white Mercedes, who's in the white Mercedes, whether someone got out of and back into the white Mercedes, correct? Correct. And that's definitely something that could have happened. We don't know, but you couldn't see. Could have. So then we get to Crosstown. And so those Crosstown videos, I believe you made the statement that you would see Mr. Johnson arriving in the Mercedes in Crosstown.
Someone, yes.
Or someone wearing, well, let me ask you this, and you make my point, right? So you don't know who was in the Mercedes.
No.
Right? Because in fairness, the video you saw and that the jury saw is the video. Like, you can't see who's driving the Mercedes.
Right? Correct.
And then you see the Mercedes enter, and there are times when you'll see the person in the gray sweatpants, black shoes, black hoodie, walking through the parking garage.
Correct.
Right? And you don't see the car that person gets in of or out of.
Yeah.
Right. Now, so Crosstown is a big place, correct?
It is.
A lot of cars.
Lots.
A lot of cars going in and out.
Yeah.
And you would agree with me that the videos that were shown are confined to intentionally, right, to focus on when the white Mercedes comes in and out, when the Expedition goes in and out.
Yes.
Right? But there were other cars going in and out through those periods of time.
Yes.
And you would agree with me that during those periods of time where the white Mercedes, it shows the white Mercedes in the video come in, you can't see the driver, you can't see the person in the gray sweatpants and the black hoodie, what they get in and out of. You can't say that person was ever in that white Mercedes, correct?
No, you can't. It's just the area that the Mercedes parked at is the same area where that person came from.
Well, but can you even see in the video that was shown where the Mercedes parks?
No, just the general area.
Which is the parking garage, which is around hundreds and potentially more other vehicles, correct?
Correct.
Now it's getting confrontational here. Little spice. Not very much.
Now, there is a point in time in your testimony when we start looking at the videos inside Crosstown, specifically inside the elevator, where you specifically identify that person to be Mr. Johnson based on tattoo, I think. Other characteristics too, but you mentioned a tattoo.
Yes.
And in those videos, some of those correspond with times at which you showed the white Mercedes roll in, and then the person in the gray sweatpants, black hoodie walk in, right? Okay. One of those times having a little girl in tow.
Yeah.
Now, you would agree with me that during those times, when you see Mr. Johnson, the one you've identified as Mr. Johnson with the little girl in the elevator, and other times, he's not wearing gloves.
No.
Right. And has a little girl with him that obviously if what the state says is correct and he was in the Mercedes, would have also been in that Mercedes, correct?
Yes.
The defense has a tough case here with all the video, trying to cast some doubt where they can.
Today you testified about going back to the Makita video, and specifically you mentioned that when the video was playing and then there were some still shots put in, you mentioned something about underwear you thought that matched between the video that was taken at Tulane Apartments, and that the person that's portrayed in that video, and the person portrayed in the Makita video.
Correct.
Specifically, the
we're going to play the matching underwear game.
Black hoodie, right?
Yes.
Now, there was a timeline that you also said you recognized of the Tulane apartment video. You recall seeing that?
Yes.
Had various pictures, and it even had like notable things from each picture.
Okay.
Right? Would you agree with me that nowhere in that timeline is it noted that these underwear are the same color as the underwear in the Makita Cookie video?
Yeah.
Would you agree with me? No.
Is there a reason for that? Why that wouldn't be in there? Seems like
just something that I mentally put in my head when I saw the video there, and I saw the video there. Okay, same clothing, just like the clothing you had on,
And this, what was marked as, I mean, and again, you saw this. You're pulling that from the same video that the jury saw in evidence, correct?
Yes, correct.
And these still shots, which were marked as front and back. Oh, okay. Okay, thank you. Exhibit 58. It's a collective. And these pictures, these still shots, being slowed down. I'm going to hand you collective 58.
Still shots are slowed all the way
down. And I just want to be sure that your perspective that you think those are, you say those are blue, number one, and that you think those are, similar to the ones in the Tulane video, is based off exactly what the jury is seeing. It's based off the video that we saw today and those still images.
Yes.
Okay. And in fact, you're saying did you base it off seeing still images before, or are those still images something you just saw for the first time today after you kind of put that together in your head?
No, something I saw.
You'd seen them, investigating the case.
Yes.
Okay. But again, you're saying based on same.
Yes.
And it's your testimony that those are the same color as the Tulane video?
What I visualized and what I saw.
What you saw. Okay. All right. Thank you.
So now we're debating the color of underwear. That didn't go anywhere. I think he was just probing to see if he could get the witness to hedge his testimony about that. And the witness didn't budge, so now we're moving on, I guess.
You were asked about how long it would take to get from Crosstown to Makita Cookie. I think you said
10 minutes.
10, 15 minutes. And obviously, possible. And that's something too that, depending on time of day, traffic, and everything else, could be longer. Could be closer to 10 or around, could be 20.
Correct.
Thereabouts.
Could be half an hour if you get pulled over for speeding.
How far away from Makita Cookie is the Bradley Street address where the car was recovered from?
I would say about 2 miles. Give or take.
When you were investigating this case, did you become familiar with an address on Wild Rose Drive? Would have been Cornelius Smith's father's residence?
Correct.
How far would you say that was from Makita Cookie?
Maybe 5-minute drive, maybe not, probably not that much. So
got a little, maybe even a little less.
Correct.
Okay. And during your investigation, did you also learn information oh, strike that.
That was terrible. I apologize. Scratch all that. Oh, that was terrible. I apologize.
Did you ever come across any information about where Mr. Johnson's, the mother of Mr. Johnson's daughter, lived?
Yeah, we got an address, possible location.
Witness had
Do you
rotator
recall
cuff surgery.
that address off the top of your head?
No.
Did you ever do any kind of, did you drive there ever?
We drove to an apartment. She's supposed to be living.
Okay. How far would you say that apartment was from Makita Cookie?
It's a good distance. It's out in the Whitehaven area, probably closer to the 2-lane here.
Closer to the 2-lane. And how far away is 2-lane from Makita?
Depending on traffic, interstate New York City, probably about 20 minutes.
Okay. And so, Mr. Johnson's, the mother of his daughter, the one in the video, and presumably in the video in the elevator, was 20 minutes from Makita Cookie. How, and if you don't know the answer to this, but how far would you say that would be from Crosstown, to get from Crosstown to that apartment address out in Whitehaven?
Maybe 15, 20 minutes, I guess.
Okay. One moment. That's my questions. Thank you, sir.
Defense had nothing on him. Nothing.
Just super quick, and something I probably should have explained at the start to some of Mr. Ayden's questions. You're retired now, is that correct?
That's correct.
And this investigation went on after you retired.
Correct.
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 And so this case sort of has 2 case officers.
It does.
You for the original.
Yes.
And then Jesse Browning after that?
Yes, correct.
Okay, so there's some things that happened in this investigation, maybe even testing in this investigation or whatever, decisions that were made would be after you were off the case.
Correct.
All right, and retired.
Yes.
All right. The second thing, are you aware that Blue Star, what Mr. Evans is talking about, also reacts with bleach and cleaning products?
I'm not aware.
Okay, you have not been trained on that substance or anything at all?
I have not.
Okay. That's all my questions for Mr. Evans.
Any recross?
No.
Thank you, officer.
Thank you.
Call your next witness.
Kirsten Gardner is in custody.
Oh, we've got another in custody.
I'm sorry. You hold for 1 minute. Wait, sorry.
This might be another situation where we need to not show the face of the witness. So we'll let them approach. This judge has been very willing to require the people's face not be shown. There also could be a question about prior convictions. That question often comes up when you have somebody in custody who's testifying, because that's something that the jury has the right to know about before they testify. So maybe they'll stipulate to a phrase about prior convictions or what they were, how many or when. Lawyer comes back, talks directly to the cameraman. All right. Thank you, Ashley.
Gardner in custody.
And it looks like we're not showing the face here either.
Step up here, sir.
Please shuffle this way.
Face the judge, raise your right hand, sir.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Have a seat. You may take your mask down.
That was a yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Swear
Mr. Gardner, you don't want to be here, do you?
No, sir.
All right, but go ahead and tell me your name.
Mr. Gardner.
Spell that first name for me.
K-H-I-S-T-A-N.
Spell the last name.
Gardner, G-A-R-N-E-R.
And how old are you?
21.
I want to take you back to 2021, November the 17th. Is the early morning hours of November the 17th, just after 2 o'clock, going on to 3 o'clock a.m., okay? Did you have occasion to go up to the Valero station near the University of Memphis?
Yes, sir.
Where had you been before you got to the Valero station?
I can't tell.
Okay. Was it a neighborhood house?
Yes, sir.
Were you up there with other people?
Yes, sir.
Were you up there with an individual by the name of Treon Ingram?
Yes, sir.
Do you know Treon Ingram?
Yes, sir.
Was he somebody you hung out with?
Yes, sir.
Did you see an individual up at that neighborhood house who you know is straight drop or drop?
I can't tell.
Okay.
I just know.
Just added two to the
time to the house. That's who Treon said they were.
Objection. Hearsay.
His picture is on his wrist. We can show that. We're showing his distinctive tattoos, but we can't show his face.
You came to the neighborhood house, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you saw the individual there. My approach, but we approach with regard to the objection.
Yeah.
Another objection. Oh, man. We've got his full name and tats. Sometimes the distinctive tattoos are an easier identifier than maybe even their face. I mean, some people just have, doppelgangers all over the place. But the tattoos are typically very, very, very unique.
Okay, and were y'all in a vehicle?
Yes, sir.
What kind of vehicle were y'all in?
Mercedes-Benz.
Okay, and let me show you a picture. I think you've seen this before. What's that a picture of?
Mercedes-Benz limousine.
All right, is that the picture that we're going to be talking about?
Yes, sir.
Is that the car we're going to be talking about?
Yes, sir.
All right. To your knowledge, was that car a stolen car?
No, sir.
Okay. Do you know where that car came from?
No, sir.
All right. Are there other people at this neighborhood house?
Yes, sir.
Who are the other people at this neighborhood house?
Straight drop.
Straight drop?
Yes, sir.
What'd y'all do at this neighborhood house?
Nothing really.
Okay, were y'all hanging out?
No, sir.
Did Straight Drop come in a car, a different car?
Yeah, truck.
A truck? Let me show you this picture that you've seen before.
Yes, sir.
Is that the truck Straight Drop came in?
Yes, sir.
And is that a white Ford Expedition?
Yes, sir.
There come a point when y'all left the house?
Yes, sir.
When y'all left the house, who was driving the white Mercedes?
I was.
When y'all left the house, did the Infiniti leave the house too?
Yes, sir.
Who was driving the Infiniti?
Behind.
Did he have a passenger with him in the Infiniti?
Yeah, straight truck.
Straight Drop? When y'all got to the gas station, what happened?
We got some gas. They talked for a minute, then we pulled off. They pulled back around, and Straight Drop got in the Benz we was in. And I got in the Infiniti.
Straight Drop got in the white Benz?
Yes, sir.
And did you leave in the Infiniti?
Yes, sir.
Got a picture from the gas station. See if you recognize this picture.
Yes, sir.
Who's in that picture?
Yeah, that's me.
All right. Is that you next to the white Mercedes at the gas station that night?
Yeah.
And then let me get you a final picture. Is this another picture you've seen before?
Yes, sir.
What's that a picture of?
The Benz we got.
The Benz you gave who?
Straight Drop.
Okay. Did you know what Straight Drop was going to do in that Benz?
No, sir.
Did you have any idea at all?
No, sir.
Were you part of this conspiracy at all?
No, sir.
Had you ever talked with anybody about killing Dolph or these other PRE artists?
I want to do that.
Why wouldn't you do that?
I want to do that one. That's my family.
You say that's your family, what you mean?
This party. That's my family. I want to do that.
Yeah, when you say it's not your family though, what do you mean? When you talking about family, who are you talking about?
Young Dolph.
Young Dolph?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you did not see Young Dolph as some sort of rival or anything like that?
No, sir.
You wouldn't have been involved in anything like that?
No, sir.
I'd like to introduce those exhibits into evidence at this time, Your Honor.
Judge, I need to give them a quick look.
My approach.
I believe the court directed the cameraman not to show this witness at all because of the distinctive tattoos. It's a little late now. It's hard to put the genie back in the bottle, unring the bell, put the poop back in the horse, all difficult things to do.
These are actually in order as Mr. Gardner identified them, Your Honor. Not their shoot, but
The first picture is a picture of a white Mercedes with the back end damage. The picture has Kirsten Garner's name on the bottom, labeled 11/29/21 at 4:01 p.m. It also has written on it in red the Benz we gave drop at Valero. We'll mark this as exhibit number 60. The next picture is a frontal view of a white Expedition. Written on the bottom, the truck hopped out of before Trayon gave him the Benz. At the house, police found Benz. Kirsten Garner's name, November 29, 2021 at 3:24 p.m.
That was his statement?
Exhibit number 61. The next picture is a picture of the white Benz at the gas pump. Somebody standing next to the gas pump. The statement under the picture is, "This is me pumping the gas. Road to store following Trayon KT." The initials under the bottom. Trayon and KT. Christian Gardner at the bottom, November 29, 2021, 3:27 p.m. We'll mark that as exhibit number 62.
Does anybody know what Christian Gardner's being held on? He's in custody.
And the last picture is a side view of the Mercedes-Benz. This view is on the passengers. This is the view of the driver's side. And the
Thank you.
written caption under the bottom says, "This is the Benz we gave drop." Christian Gardner, November 29, 2021. We'll mark this as exhibit number 63.
Felony drug charges.
The Benz we get dropped at Bolero, 1129. The truck drop hopped out of before Trayon gave him the Benz at the house where police found the Benz. This is me pumping, next exhibit, this is me pumping the gas, drove to store following Trina.
So now we have 3 people reading the names of these pictures.
This is the Benz we get dropped. Next number, he said it.
So the witness's testimony was that he was not involved in this conspiracy whatsoever. He just was told to give the car, or he was the driver, took the Mercedes to the gas station, filled it up, and gave it to the defendant.
That's all the questions, Judge.
Thank you, Judge. Good afternoon, Mr. Garner.
Good afternoon.
Right. My name's Luke Evans. I represent Justin Johnson. I've got a few questions for you, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. So I'm not going to ask you what Trayon said, but when you were first asked whether or not you knew whether or not you knew who Trayon traded the Mercedes-Benz for, you didn't say Justin Johnson or straight drop.
Yes, sir. It was straight drop, okay.
Okay. And you started to answer by saying, Trayon told me.
Yeah, when we was at the house. When we went to the store, I seen him. I was in the car with him. I seen him at the store.
So you didn't see him at the house?
No, Trayon just told us that's what it was when he got in the Infinity with Trayon.
Okay. So you're saying that Trayon, you were there, though, no question.
No question asked.
So, how many times have you been interviewed by law enforcement before today?
Too many times.
Too many.
Too many.
In relation to this investigation, that narrows it down any for you. Is it still too many times? Or are you just saying one time's too many?
One time is too many.
Sure. Fair enough. So,
looking at the carpet now.
You've at least been interviewed twice, right?
Yes, sir.
And then you even got spoken to right before you came on the stand by the state, correct? And the first time you talked to law enforcement was on November 23rd, 2021 about this. Do you remember that?
Yes, sir.
And you told this jury today you had no idea that Mercedes-Benz was stolen.
No, sir.
Now that just isn't true. And you know it's not true, right?
I wouldn't been in it if it was stolen.
Okay. What's Trayon do for a living?
I can't tell you.
I mean, did he have a job that you knew of where he could afford a Benz?
Yes, sir.
He did? What did he do?
Worked at a garbage truck place.
Okay. What? I mean, you weren't with Trayon when he carjacked it a couple of weeks before. I mean, you and him were tight, right?
Yes, sir. If I would have been there, I would have said, no, I wasn't.
You weren't there?
No, sir.
And you just, I mean, how long you known Trayon?
My whole life.
You've known him your whole life?
Yes, sir.
He works at a garbage company.
Yes, sir.
Right? He's driving a Benz. How long had he had the Benz?
I can't tell you.
I mean, you hung out with him almost every day, didn't you?
No, sir. You only kind of pick me up when I need a ride.
Did you need a ride the night you say you went over and traded the Benz?
Yes, sir.
Where were you going?
Off Redwood in the mile.
And Trayon was just taking you?
Yes, sir.
Well, what did you think when he was going to trade his nice bought and paid for Mercedes-Benz for an Infiniti Q40?
It's his business.
It's his business. That's what I thought.
Let me ask you this, Piston. For Trayon and you riding around in this Benz that you thought he bought and paid for, didn't carjack to get it, what did you think when he was riding around with two pistols and a Draco in the back?
Texas is Memphis.
Because that's what he had, right? A Draco-style assault rifle.
I can't tell. I just know he had some type of weapon.
Well, you called it a Draco when you interviewed with law enforcement.
Yeah, it should be then.
Right? So that's what it was. And some pistols, right?
It was a lot more than that. There was plenty of guns in the car.
And that's what you and Trayon were riding around with.
Yes, sir.
Let me ask you this. At least November 16th, 2021, were you a felon?
No, sir.
What about Trayon?
I can't tell.
You don't know?
No, sir.
Well, when you get to Bradley that night, why do you have to go out and drive the Mercedes?
There was Trayon told me to do pump gas and drive it around. And I didn't even know we was going to give it to the truck. I just know when we came around, when I got done pumping gas, we all pulled off, came back around through the store again, and we gave it to him. I didn't know why, I didn't know what he did it for, I just know he gave it to him.
And the only time you've been in the car was that night? That Mercedes?
No, sir.
You've been in it before? How many times?
Twice, 3 times. Just wanted to get the rides when I called Tree on.
Okay. What about, did you ever have to get anything out of the trunk for him? Or did you just get in the front seats and, into the passenger seat, in and out?
Yeah, my wallet.
You had to get your wallet out of the trunk?
Yeah, no, it wasn't in the trunk. It was in the car.
Okay. What about the trunk? Did you ever go in the trunk?
No, sir.
Never went in the trunk?
No, sir.
Never touched the trunk?
No, sir.
Do you know, well, you knew there was tags from multiple states in that trunk of that car, right?
No, sir.
You got in change the tags that night?
No, sir.
Okay.
I had no idea what the tag was trying to. I didn't even know nothing about it. One thing I did was get in the car and go places that I wanted him to take me.
It's a very reluctant witness here.
You said you thought Trayon had bought that Mercedes, right?
I didn't say that. I just said I didn't know where he got it from.
I think earlier you said you thought he bought it. He had a job.
Yeah, I just said he had a job. I didn't say he bought it.
Okay.
I said I didn't know where he got it from.
Because you knew him to steal cars too, didn't you?
No, sir.
You didn't tell police that you knew Trayon took a stolen Infiniti and a Challenger?
No, sir. One thing I can say is I told him we had an Infiniti. We didn't have no Challenger. I don't know nothing about no Challenger. But
okay.
Where did he come in?
So, if the police have a report from your interview that says that, they just got it wrong?
Yeah, it seems like.
Okay.
The police report's wrong.
Now, when you first got interviewed by the cops in this case, you told them you'd never been in that Mercedes, right?
One time I told them I'd never been in the Mercedes when Dolph died. I didn't have no idea what happened. I told them I was in the Mercedes, but just wanted to get a ride. That's all I told them.
All right. You didn't tell them. What about Valero? They asked you if you'd ever been to Valero.
And they showed me the pictures of me at Valero. That's when I told them that's where, when the day we gave it a try.
Right. But before they showed you that picture, you said you had never been at the gas station, Valero gas station at Highland.
I didn't even want to tell them nothing really, because I didn't have no dealings with it.
You even were shown a picture of yourself pumping gas and said you didn't know who that person was, right?
Yes, sir.
You were asked earlier if you knew, you say that it's Justin Johnson got that Mercedes. You said, did you ever know why Justin Johnson was getting the Mercedes, or Straight Drop was getting it? You said no, right?
Yes, sir.
But that's not what you told the police when you were interviewed again on November 29, 2001. Right?
Interrogated me.
And during your questioning, interrogation, whatever you want to call it, you told them that Drop said he needed the Mercedes-Benz to slide up on his baby mama.
That's what the comment was when he got it for sure.
All right. So earlier you said you were asked directly, did he ever tell you why he needed it, why he wanted it, what he was going to do with it?
That was the comment he made.
Okay. So he, according to you, he did tell you.
He didn't tell me, that's just the comment that was made. I wasn't in none of their business. I don't know now one of them, so I wasn't in their business. I was just sitting in the car doing what I was doing.
And this person, you're saying straight drop during this interaction. What did you see him do at Valero?
Get in the car. When we got there, we got some gas. After we got some gas, we were trailed in the Audi and the Infinity and the Benz. When we got done getting some gas, we rolled out. We came back through the store lot at the air pump, and that's when we traded cars.
Now, after you heard Dolph got killed, you called Trayon, right?
No, sir.
You didn't?
I was with Trayon the day Dolph got killed. He dropped me off, and we asked him, did he have anything to do with Dolph being dead? Because if he did, we're not going to be around him. That's something.
Well, you told detectives that you had a conversation with Trayon after the homicide and stated that you called him.
No, sir.
That's not true?
I was with him on the day of. He dropped me off in Raleigh in the Infinity.
All right. And you told Trayon, according to what you told them at the time, that people were trying to put your name in as one of the shooters in Dolph's murder.
Yeah, that was for sure.
When was this conversation?
The day after. The day after me recognizing that Dolph was dead, and the day after that, we recognized that the car we were just in that had something to do with Dolph.
And you already knew the day after he's killed, that people are putting your name in it.
It's my family. Like, they know what car we were just in. Like,
who's your family? When you say your family,
Dolph people, like Dolph, like they're my family.
Can you explain that to me a little bit more? Are they your blood relatives?
Yes, sir.
How are y'all related?
Cousins.
Okay. And you're saying the family would have known that you were driving around in that white Mercedes?
Yes, sir.
His blood relatives to Dolph?
We was calling them, letting them know when we got the van.
You called Dolph's family?
No. We called people that were related.
Who'd you call?
I can't tell.
What do you mean you can't tell? You don't know?
They're not in it.
Who'd you call?
Can't tell. Trayon did all the calls.
I thought you just said you called them. They're your family.
They is. But Trayon did all the calls.
But why is he calling Dolph's family?
He's trying to get it. He's trying to get the car gone.
Why would Dolph's family know how to get the car gone?
It ain't just Dolph's family. There was plenty of people that we were trying to get the car to.
Well, you just said it was Dolph's family. Who you were calling. That's who we're talking about, Mr. Gardner.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you stole a car, and back again. You said earlier you didn't even know the car was stolen.
Why you keep saying I stole the car?
Why are you trying to get the car gone if you didn't steal it?
I didn't steal it, but Trayon was trying to get the car gone.
So Trayon stole it?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? Why is he trying to get rid of the car? If he bought it?
I can't tell you, and I didn't say he bought it. I didn't know where he got it from.
Lawyer's getting really frustrated here.
So you're in a car, however Trayon got it, that you're calling, you say, Dolph's family before he's killed to try to get rid of the car for whatever reason.
It was way, way before Dolph was even anything dealing with Dolph. Like, we've been trying to get the car down. Like, it was way before that. It didn't have nothing to do the day of, the day after, the day before, none of it. It was way before when he picked me up. The first time he picked me up, he was trying to get the car down. I didn't get in his business. It's not my business. I'm just getting in here to get a ride.
What's way before? Let's start there. It was way before Dolph was killed.
Yeah.
How far before?
About a week or two.
All right, and you're saying that's way before?
Yes.
But Trayon, according to you, is calling Dolph's family. And Trayon's not related to Dolph too, is he?
It's just not Dolph's family. You gotta realize everybody grew up with each other. So everybody know everybody. It's Memphis. Everybody know everybody.
Well, sorry, I'll let you finish.
When he got done calling them, and they didn't want to get it. They didn't have nothing to do with it. So, man, I guess he did what he did and gave it a drop. I don't know. I can't tell you why he gave it and where he did it from.
But you're concerned immediately when Dolph ends up murdered, because you know that you or Trayon, one of the two of you, has reached out to Dolph's family and tried to unload a white Mercedes, right? Which is in the video, driving away.
My fault, but why you keep saying it was just Dolph's family? Like, I told you it was multiple people he was trying to sell the car to.
That's what you said.
Yeah.
That's what you said. You won't tell us who it was. I've asked you that too.
I wouldn't do that. That has nothing to do with me.
You said
talking about me giving the car to the truck. I ain't have nothing to do with other stuff.
Unfortunately, you don't get to pick and choose, Mr. Gardner, on what you answer and what you don't. The judge gets to decide that, not you.
Yes, sir.
And you're concerned, and the day after, because maybe not the only people, but you've interacted, as you said, a lot of people, some of which were your family, which you've identified as Dolph's family, with that car, and your name is in it, right? Same car that's got, as luck would have it, a Draco in it, and two pistols. At least, you said a bunch, but at least 2 pistols, right?
There's a lot of weapons.
And you're immediately concerned. A lot of weapons. Right? Because you think, oh no.
Now, when Dolph died, and I seen that Mercedes on the news, of course, man, who not finna call them if I'm in this car and they just did shit like, I ain't finna act like I didn't out here. Yeah, I called them.
Well, you called them. You called them because somebody said you were involved.
It's most of the people I call, like, yeah, like, what's going on? Like, and me not knowing about it, like, why I'm in this car, like, y'all put me in something that I don't even supposed to be in, really.
And this was the day after.
Yes.
This is before you ever even come on the scene. Like, you're not picked up by law enforcement yet. You're not talking to the cops. That doesn't happen to you.
It came, man, right after Dolph died. Like, it came a couple of days after, like, so it was nothing to do. I already knew that I was gonna get picked up regardless. As soon as I said that, I got picked up for nothing.
And started lying right then, right? Trying to hide your involvement.
It's Dolph, like, I wouldn't want to be in it, like, knowing I ain't got nothing to do with it. It wasn't no lie, it was for real, like, I ain't have nothing to do with it, it ain't no lie. I don't. So why would I go tell them something that I don't have nothing to do with? I don't have nothing to do with.
Mr. Gardner, we learned today you've had quite a bit to do.
How did it?
That's all the questions I've got.
All right.
Redirect.
I've got no further questions.
Thank you, Mr. Gardner.
Hold on.
Are you next witness?
Wait 1 second, I already have a stipulation that we'd like to go ahead and read to the record.
Lots of stipulations mid-trial in this one. So that witness was the driver of the vehicle that was the Mercedes.
The stipulation read to the record, Your Honor, and then you can get.
I'm not sure where they're cutting this out. That individual was the driver of the Mercedes. Oh, he's going to agree to the stipulation. And he traded the car. They traded the Infiniti for the Mercedes. And he was the driver that delivered the Mercedes. He was also the guy that filled it up at the gas station, and then they left. So he says, that's all I had to do with it. I didn't know the car was stolen. I didn't know that there were guns in it. I didn't know, that was the car owner's business, Trayvon or whatever his name was. I didn't question that. I didn't ask him. I didn't say how much you're selling it for. Nothing. I didn't. Trayvon works at a garbage place and drives a Mercedes. That was his business. So once the crime went down, once young Dolph was killed, and this video gets released that shows this car, he and Trayvon have tried calling everybody they know, trying to get rid of this car, trying to move this car because it's hot, right? It's stolen, and nobody in the crew that young Dolph was running with wanted the car. But then when young Dolph turns up dead, and this car's in the video, everyone goes back to him saying, "Hey, weren't you just asking to move this car? Are you sure that wasn't you in the video?" So he's saying, "I didn't have anything to do with this. This wasn't my fight. I didn't have any issue. Young Dolph's family to me. I mean, if I had known this was going to happen, I wouldn't have had anything to do with this at all." So he's a very reluctant witness, does not want to participate at all. I don't know what's going on, but Trayvon is. I think he's got a little bathroom break, because this time he took a right instead of a left. Cameraman doesn't know where to look. It's like the attorney's privilege notes. No. How about we look at the Elmo screensaver? That'll work. So going back just a little bit, when this witness first took the stand, see if I can pull it up. Okay, let's go to camera 8. Just for a minute here. When he first took the stand, slow motion. Started on a shoe shot. Okay, we got the Crocs, the white socks, the typical, the baggy jail pants. And then he goes up and he starts showing the arms, right? Well, on the arms, we have a wristband from the jail, like the day release, that has all the, it's like a hospital band, okay? When you check into the hospital and they give you the band, it's got all your info on there, a little barcode scan, probably a chip they can read, all the tats and everything. They're not showing his face, but his arm literally has his face on it. And so they end up coming back and telling him, don't show that. So we cut away, and the rest of the time for the testimony, we end up just seeing the Crocs down here, and the sway back and forth. Oh my goodness, the swaying just went and went and went and went and went. Lots of shaking, a lot of shaking going on. Donna says, "I had one of those bracelets a few days ago." Do you keep your bracelets? I mean, either a jail bracelet. They probably keep the jail bracelets themselves. They don't let you keep those ones. But I've got a confession. I keep all my passes, like lanyards with a pass on it. So every time I go somewhere that I get a lanyard, specifically as a media pass, I keep it. So I have a closet full of lanyards, like a whole bag full of lanyards, and a pass for every. Hey, I got my phone back. Thanks, Mrs. R.A. What? No, I'm not going to de-junk. I'm talking about prized possessions that you're never going to throw away. Anyway, I keep all my lanyards. So I have every single film festival I was a cameraman at. Every time I was, all the media passes for NCAA sporting events. And I think we got hockey. I'm not sure if it's NHL, but I don't know what. Were the Grizzlies NHL? I don't think they were NHL. They were like a league below that or something. But all that stuff. I have all my lanyards, but I don't have any jail bracelets, probably because I've never gotten one. Those are fun things. I'd keep those. I will tell you that I once applied for a job using I just photocopied all of here's my press passes for things I've done. And I showed them that. I said, this is what I've done. They're like, okay, you're good. You got experience. I once sold all my used FIFA World Cup tickets. The final was $40. They bought your used ticket stubs. Pass on the jail bracelet collection, says Virginia. It's memorabilia. Both of them had their name on their wristband, or their picture on their wristband, but the wristband was turned on the first inmate. And so it wasn't showing his whole face. this one that was more visible. Grizzlies are in the ECHL. Okay, so I knew it wasn't the NHL. But fun story, Grizzlies wanted me to fly and do some drone footage for them out there at the Maverick Center in, where's that? Is that West Valley? I think it's out in West Valley in Utah. And so I went and visited with them and talked to them, went to the arena and checked it out. And they wanted me on game day with a crowd full of people, to fly from outside. And first of all, this is like in the flight path of the airport. To fly from outside, drop down, come through the double doors, through the tunnel, and come out into the arena with my multi-rotor, with people all around, and then do a wide shot and sort of pan and zoom in on you. Yeah, it's like, it is the most dangerous thing ever. You're flying from a GPS zone into a building that will have no GPS. Your drone's going to lose all connections, so it has to be completely manual in a building that has massive air conditioning currents in it. It was terrible. I did fly a drone for NCAA. It's indoors only, a small drone. I was actually doing it for fun because I was there early for a TV gig. So I'd done some filming in the stadium, like looking down at the court and things like that before they were ready to set up the cameras because the camera truck was late. And then when I was done, I was uploading the footage to my computer. And the director saw it. He's like, "Hey, can you send that to me?" And I did. And he just used it. He didn't give me any warning or anything. I'm like, you can't do that. But anyway, so I've had some TV time on my drone work illegally. Back before the FAA had the Part 107, I've had one of those days where work turned into a crap show. Used to have a commissary receipt collection. Mel says keeps the bracelets from when the children are born. You sound more like a broadcaster than the cameraman. I hated being in front of the camera. Like I went to school for video production, for live television. That's what I got my degree in, and I went through almost the entire year with like 1 or 2 times appearing on camera. I was always behind the scenes, running the show, something. But and now here I am, 8 hours a day on camera. But it's funny how life takes turns. Does Mrs. R.A. dislike the keeping of boxes, and do you also try to leave your protective plastic things as long as you possibly can? Not the plastic, except for the screen protector if it's unobtrusive. Like if the screen protector is unobtrusive, I'll leave it. But if it has like one of those big tabs, like pull here, it's gone. It's gone. She does manage to get rid of the boxes on a regular basis. I have none right now. Like all the boxes, all my gear came in last week are gone. Which sucks because I need to send some stuff to Florida for Boone, and now I don't have any boxes. So, all right, where are we? Amber says, "Can confirm, no box in sight." Yes, you got to. I think it was cleared out right before you came. Like I think they're still in the garbage, haven't been collected in the recycling bin. Debbie, I'm not going to be there for the Boone trial, but we are sending equipment and personnel. That's our plan. I have the plastic cover on my infotainment screen in my previous car when I traded it after 3 years. That's impressive. Doesn't the heat sort of like make that permanently like bond to the screen? Still have time. There's plenty of time. What trial are you looking forward to? I'm looking forward to hearing what's going to happen with BK. That has been a trial that is, well, it's got massive attention. We've been interested in it from the get-go. And I want to see how they're going to move forward. I love the area. I'd love to be there in person, at least for part of it. I don't think I could be there for 3 months. That's a long time to sit in the Airbnb in Idaho. Never remove the plastic covering. Now, I believe in removing the plastic covering off furniture immediately. I don't like the whole it looks nice, but it feels like plastic. Just order more stuff and get more boxes. K Scarpetta, great idea. I'm going to tell Mrs. R.A. you said it was okay. BK is probably the biggest trial I'm looking forward to. Corey Richens is also going to be really interesting. Lisa, we saw a little bit of that this morning with the Boone attorneys all begging for their little cut of the pie. My wife still has plastic coverings all over her 2022 car. Oh, man. I realize that you want to keep it protected as nice as long as possible. But that feeling of peeling that off and just having the no dust, nothing on it, that is addictive. Didn't know the ice maker area on the fridge had a plastic covering until I was cleaning the fridge right before I sold it, ripped it off, and it looked like new. There's one benefit. Like new fridge. You can see some motion in court, but I'm not sure what's happening yet. They've turned the audio off. I think we've still got a bathroom break going on. Which means another half hour or so, and we'll be back. Nikki says, how do you find out if courts stream? I need to see if I can watch Solano County, California. Ooh, you said California. That's a tough one already. A friend's son killed, and arraignment is coming too. Okay. You call the county, first of all. You call the court and ask for the court clerk, and you just ask them, first of all, does this court, you're not necessarily broadcast on YouTube, but do they provide a web link or a Zoom feed for their court? That's going to be your first choice. A lot of times those are provided, but you're not allowed to restream them, so you wouldn't be allowed to post it on YouTube afterwards or during. Most likely, no. California is really, really hard to get into courts on. They like to say that they're wide open, they're friendly, and for FOIA requests and everything else, but when you actually get into the weeds, it's very, very difficult. We still don't have any answers back from the requests I put in about the guy who got bit by the dog that has done nothing wrong. It's like, why is the dog chewing on this guy? Still nothing on that. That's been almost 2 years. Here's my problem with Boone. I'm not sure it's going to hold. I think it's going to hold the date. It's about another 12-hour drive for me to come down. And it's a long stay in an expensive place. It's worth the call, Nikki. Call the court, ask them, let them know your family or friends or whatever you've got a connection to the case, personal connection to the case, and ask if they're some sort of facility or something's infrastructure set up that allows you to watch remotely. Or possibly even just listen. Sometimes they might also tell you that they'll provide a recording after the fact. Those are hard to get, not as hard as getting video during a trial, but a recording after the fact. It might cost you a little bit of money, but you could get a recording that way. Martha, welcome home from work. Thanks for doing the hard work so that we can sit here and play while you're working. What's the highest counter we had? That was in I think it was the Maya trial, wasn't it? What were we counting in Maya's trial? I can't remember. I have to go back and look at the videos. I think we had something in the 1,500 range. Oh, Debbie, that's awfully kind. Take Brandy to lunch. She's great. Boone Trial Fund. Right now we're working with Trial TV Live. I'll be trying to get them this hardware and make sure all the access is approved by the court so we can get them in there so they can live stream out of the courtroom for us. We were counting objections. Did we have 1,500 objections on that one? I know we had a ton. Donnie, you'd be my travel guide to Florida. I've only been there once. I enjoyed it. But I liked it for the 24 hours I was there. Who is Elmo? Elmo, I believe, is an acronym. Electronic. It's the projector. Media, whatever. That was our objection counter contest. Yes, we ran a contest during that one. We used the teleprompter to scroll through the names to see whose count was the closest. That was a lot of fun. A lot of work for Amber as well. Don't go this week. Hurricane coming tomorrow. So skip Florida for a week. Treehouse murder trial is going forward, but I think it's right at the end of the year. I don't remember the date. Elmo is a Sesame Street character. Duh, says Debbie. Sesame Street. Let's zoom in on the notes and on the pictures, see what's on the desk here. Looks like we have another Apple fan. It's an interesting little dongle. That might be the laser pointer and the mouse. Is that an Apple? No, I think that's a PC. I stand corrected. That is not Apple. That is definitely a PC. There's a fingerprint reader to log in. No, I think that they unplug that and use that to steer the mouse on the screen. It's a Pentium 4. It's all about the Pentiums. What names have been dropped? This time, mostly it was straight drop. The last 20 were straight drop. Or Dolph. Straight drop and Dolph today have been the majority. Let's see what we're waiting for here. I'm always impressed with people who can type with nails like that. With this shot, if she types her password, I think we'll learn it. Little Dolph. Some people are saying Little Dolphin. I guess the family, the news, locally, the dolphin emoji is used with his name a lot, even though his name was Adolf. And Little Dolph was just an abbreviation of his name. The password is Elmo. Tee. Young Dolph, Little Dolph. I'm sorry, AWOL. I'm struggling with these. These street names are just not sticking in my head for some reason. Straight drop. Young Dolph. want to say Groot, but it was something else. Groot was the guy off that TV show. Juke. I'm thinking, baby, Dolph. No. Juke. I'm thinking Juke and Groot. I am Groot. You know, I'm getting those two mixed up. Man, my neck is just kinked on one side. Can't get it to pop. Paula Mack, thanks for going back and checking it. That sounds right. The total objections counter was 1783 on the Maya trial. Looks like we're looking for a safe spot, which means a witness might be walking in. There's something dropped something on the floor down there. Looks like the cap to a USB cover or something. Yoko Kurama, I have not looked into that at all. Lil Watch, Big Dill. This is a podcast. Podcast in 2 days. Lil Watch and Big Dill. We've seen this upholstery in this courtroom at a closer, zoom than any other courtroom ever. We've seen carpet, we've seen walls, we've seen chairs. The bottom of the cabling, the floor. Helene will be making the landfall during the podcast. Well, I think we'll probably need to do some coverage on that then. The fine tailor on this suit is brought to you by Ralph Lauren. Just checking, he's not missing any buttons. Oh, well, thanks. I appreciate it. I will try harder. I need to make I usually make a spreadsheet where I keep notes on the trial, so I have the important names, witnesses we've heard from, things like that. I've not done it this trial, and it shows. Okay, now let's go back to the trip hazard with the cords. Electric Light Machine Organization. Wow, that sounds like it's about as old as IBM. That carpet does not look soft at all. It's looking clean, but I think it's designed to always look clean because dirt just blends in. That is the floor. We're seeing some cables. The black cable is just an extension cord or a power cable or a video cable. I'm not sure which. Right next to it is a white cable cover, which is covering another cable. Every cable should have a cable cover right there, but it does not. The company was founded in Japan in 1921. Okay. Hey, Siri, what year was IBM founded?
IBM was founded June 16, 1911.
Okay, there you go. So they're 10 years apart. That's why. The name it just seems like an old company name. Oh, I'm going to slow down that last little shot and see what shoes we're dealing with here. Are these Doc Martens? Doc Martens, Rockports? Let's see. Okay, so we're going to cut to the shoes. It looks like a butt shot, but trust me, it's shoes. Oh, that was a better one right there. Look at that. So we're going to look at these shoes up close. The laces, it looks Doc Marten, but there's no stitching. Unless he's taken the stitches and colored them in with a marker, there's no yellow stitching there at all. So I'm going to say on this, these have the looks of Rockports, which are comfortable. Once you break them in. Could do a little bit of a shine. I'm seeing some scuffs on the toes. But this is definitely not the squeaky shoes lawyer either. Babs says, my 19-year-old granddude has just been promoted as one of the youngest managers of Chick-fil-A. My heart is busting out of my chest. I had to celebrate with my peeps. Yum. And awesome. Both cool things. I fell in love with Chick-fil-A, those little nuggets, those little chicken bits. When the NCAA team I was filming for a season got a sponsorship from them, and they would be providing the meals for the camera crew at halftime. And so we just had all-you-can-eat Chick-fil-A on every single game. And yeah, it's good. It's good. I like it, especially the Chick-fil-A sauce. Big fan. Wish I could see the shoes of the squeaky shoe lawyer. But I don't think he's worn those again. Babs, that's awesome. Congratulate your 19-year-old granddude. 19-year-old manager. That's really good. Doc Marten is my favorite shoe or show. Yes. Do we all qualify for a family discount, Babs? I would move to Canada for a job at Tim Hortons. Anyone, please? Says Ivy. The sauce is good. I'm not as big on the Polynesian sauce or whatever that one is. That one's not as good for me. But the actual Chick-fil-A sauce, spot on. That's like crack. If crack was a condiment, it would be Chick-fil-A sauce. More shoes. They look. I'm sorry. They're looking a little dirty. They're looking dingy. Look at this. You've got. They're almost looking like work boots. No, do you see a logo on the back? Do you see? Is that Rockport? Right there on that heel. Do you see the logo on the back of that heel just below the pant leg? I think that's the brand name. Somebody recognize that? I know one of you have a pair of these. I think it's just stamped like in. Let's see. Anyway, we're still looking at the floor. There's Cyber-Raider. That's what it looks like to me, too. Jamie, welcome to the gallery. Look at that orange courthouse. Thank you very much for at least a year of support, Jamie. Thank you very much. When you know you're having fun with your new toy. I am. I don't know what the break is for, though. This could be big, because if you remember what happened right before this break, actually I can scroll back and we can tell you. Ready? We're going to zoom back. Right right before this LO cast. Okay, we had the witness on the stand. We were going to call the next witness. Let's turn on the audio here. Back up and play camera 8 again. Ready?
1 second, I already have stipulation that we'd like to go ahead and read into the record.
So the last thing was we'd have a stipulation we'd like to read into the record, and then I'll turn off the audio because it's instead of them reading it, they went back and showed the defendant the paper. Let me see what the paper was. If we can see, I can't see it. That's the stipulation. So he reads it. Read. He signs. They give him a pen. This is him signing it, so he's agreeing to something. They turn around and say, okay, it's a go. And then the witness stands up and walks out. And he takes a hard right. So, talks to the lawyers for a bit. Goes out. He's always come in from the left, but when he comes out, he goes to the right. Zoom. Plea deal? I don't know. Might be big. He went in through the outdoor. Lisa, welcome. We're staring at the carpet in the courtroom. Thanks for joining us here. We're hoping for something to happen soon. A mistrial? I don't think it's a mistrial. There's been nothing. There's no objections that's been made that would be the foundation for a mistrial, unless something just came to light outside the presence of the court. Go back. Was he doing hand signals behind his back? Oh, I will go back to right before he walked out, right? Okay, hang on. Wait. He stood for a long time. Okay, we're gonna watch. Play this one. So he's sitting there. He stands up, hands in the pockets. Then he gets told to take his hands out of his pockets or something. I'm not sure. Let's see. Hands in the pockets. His hands are going to go behind his back here in just a minute. See, look. Stop. See the lady he's talking to? She's hard to see because she's behind, but she takes her hands and she spreads them out to her sides like this. She lifts, and he mimics her. And then with his hands behind, he's moving his thumb. I think it's a self-soothing. I think he's got a tissue. We're live again. We gotta go back. He's just back. He's just. The judge is ordering him to sit behind the lawyers. It might be a safety concern. I'm always in court, Ashy. It's just the court of public opinion. That's a virtual background.
Mr. Hagerman, you want to remind the camera guys?
They asked if you remind the still shot cameras. Cameraman knows.
You got it?
There's another witness that cannot be photographed.
Yeah, right.
We're just trying to figure out if it's going to be fancy shoes or
Jury's not in until the courtroom, y'all.
slippers.
You will bring the jury.
Call your next witness.
Jamarcus Johnson.
Jamarcus? Is this his brother?
Step this way, sir.
He's not in custody.
Stand right here. Raise your right hand facing
and
you.
He has got some shoes. He has got some shoes.
Tell the truth. Have a seat.
Make sure your phone is off.
Wait till you see these guys.
All right. Can you tell me your name, please?
Jamarcus Johnson.
All right. I'm going to have you look out toward me and speak up so I can hear you. Okay.
Jamarcus Johnson.
And can you spell the first and last name for the record?
J-E-R-M-A-R-C-U-S.
And then Johnson.
J-O-H-N-S-O-N.
We just have to do that for the court reporter. It's a legal thing. Now, Mr. Johnson, you are actually charged in this case. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
You are charged with taking possession of some of your brother's property after the Dolph killing, and for aiding him to communicate with another man by the name of Cornelius Smith after the Dolph killing. Okay? You have an attorney for that case, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And he's actually in the courtroom today.
Yes, sir.
You have pled guilty
Those are jury
to
shoes.
being an accessory after the fact, several counts of that offense. For taking control over a car your brother was driving afterwards, for taking control over a phone that your brother had afterwards, and for helping him by using the phone communicate with Cornelius Smith. Is that right? And you've entered a guilty plea to those offenses, but you have not been sentenced yet. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Meaning that the judge has not had a hearing and told you what your sentence is going to be. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Have I told you that it's a very good idea for you to tell the truth, and that the truth could help you at whatever sentencing you have one day?
Yes, sir.
Oh, so he's got a little
Now,
deal.
this building and this system is new to you, isn't it? Had you ever...
Hold on. I need you to say yes or no.
Yes, ma'am.
She's recording.
Okay.
Thank you.
Had you ever been arrested before this case?
No, sir.
Ever been to 201 pilot for court cases and stuff like this before this case?
No, sir.
This was the first time?
Yes, sir.
And it's the only time? Right.
Yes, sir.
I want to ask you about your brother, Justin Johnson, okay? Do you see him in the courtroom?
Yes, sir.
Can you point him out and tell me what he's wearing?
Wearing a gray sweater.
Okay, is he seated here behind these two attorneys? Could the record reflect he's identified as brother Justin Johnson?
The record so reflects he's identified the defendant in court today.
Now, how old are you, Jamarcus?
27.
And how old is your brother?
I think he's 25.
25? Okay.
So it's his big brother.
Is he your full brother?
We got the same dad.
He is the bigger brother right here.
Okay. Same dad, different mother, so half brother or whatever. As y'all grew up, did y'all actually grow up together in the same house every day?
No, sir.
You described sort of how often you would see your brother Justin. I liken it to something like me and my cousins or something. Does that sound about right?
Yes, sir.
So you grew up in a different household than your brother.
Yes, sir.
Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. But you would see your brother from time to time? Is that?
Yes, sir.
Would you see him at family stuff?
Younger, yeah.
When you were younger? Okay. Like cousins or something? Okay. I want to take you back to 2021, okay? November of 2021. Now, did you even know who Dolph was?
A rapper, yeah.
A rapper, okay. So you knew Dolph was a rapper?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you have anything to do with some sort of plan on the front end to kill Dolph?
No, sir.
Is that anything that you would ever be involved in?
No, sir.
Any sort of plan to kill other PRE? Do you know what PRE is?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any plan to kill the other PRE artists or anything like that?
No, sir.
Okay. In 2021, about how often would you talk or communicate with your brother, Justin?
Like every other week.
Like every other week?
Yes, sir.
In 2021, about how many times do you think you saw him that whole year?
Like 2 or 3 times.
Okay. So in all of 2021, you would have seen him 2 or 3 times.
Yes, sir.
Does that sound about right? And you would have talked to him maybe once a week or every 2 weeks. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. And again, just because a court reporter, like when you nod your head, I know I know it, but we got a court reporter, okay? All right. So it'd be fair to say that y'all were not close.
Yeah, nah, we were close, but we didn't talk all the time.
Okay.
Yeah, there's stuff going on. I got my stuff going.
Okay.
I think I've seen some blue undies.
Okay. So did you know the people he hung out with?
No, sir.
Did you know, for instance, Treon Ingram?
No, sir.
That name mean anything at all to you?
No, sir.
Okay. Where were you living in 2021?
I was 21.
When this happened?
When the murder happened?
When this time period that we're talking about, when Dolph got murdered, and when we're here later that Justin gives you his time?
Oh, the Arbor Apartments.
The Harbor Apartment? Now, what area of Memphis?
East Memphis.
All right, so you were living in East Memphis?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And for people that are not from here, there's downtown.
Yes, sir.
Is that correct? There's Midtown that is next to downtown that includes Crosstown.
Yes, sir.
Okay. There's South Memphis, there's North Memphis,
Yes, sir.
and then there's East Memphis.
Yes, sir.
And you were living out in East Memphis.
Yes, sir.
Who are you living with?
I live with my mom and 2 sisters.
Okay. And
my
did you?
son, yeah.
You have a son, is that correct? And you have custody of your son.
Full custody, yeah.
How old's your son now?
4.
Okay. And were you working back in 2021?
Yes, sir.
Where were you working?
I was working at Disney warehouse.
Okay, the Disney warehouse. All right. Trying to
At
support your
Disney?
son
Yes, sir.
and living in those apartments with your mom and your sisters.
Yes, sir.
Did there come a time after Dolph was killed that your brother Justin got in contact with you?
Yes, sir.
What was it about?
About bringing me a rental car.
About bringing you a rental car. Now, had you asked him for a car or anything?
No.
Okay, so this is, do you know what out of the blue means? Would this be something sort of out of the blue?
No, he knew I didn't have a car.
Okay, your brother would have known you didn't have a car.
Yeah, he knew I didn't have a car.
Okay. And was not having a car hard for you?
Yes, sir.
Who had to drive you to the warehouse?
I had to get rides from different people.
You had to get rides. Okay. So your brother, is this after Dolph was killed?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Calls you about giving you a car.
Yes, sir.
Does this sound good to you?
Yes, sir.
All right. What happens after the phone call?
I was getting out from work on the way home, and he was like, he was gonna come and bring me the car so I can get back and forth and work. You know, I be needing the car, so.
Okay. And did he in fact do that?
Yes, sir.
Where did he?
Came like an hour later to the office.
Like an hour later? At your apartment complex? Okay. What kind of car did he arrive in?
It was a white Chrysler.
Okay. You know what a Chrysler 200 or 300 looks like?
I think it was a 300.
Okay. Oh, they look similar, 200, 300, right? I was just asking, does it look like one of those things?
Okay. Yes, sir.
Okay. Is he driving that car?
Yes, sir.
Does he have anybody with him?
There was some people in the truck.
What kind of truck is it?
I really don't know.
What color was the truck?
It was white.
A white truck?
Expedition.
You say truck, you mean like a pickup truck, or do you mean like a big SUV?
Yeah, it was a big SUV.
Big SUV? Okay. Do you know who the people were in the white SUV with him were?
No, sir.
Okay, what happens when he gets there?
Tell me you outside.
Okay.
Okay. Go outside, get in the car.
You get in the car with him? All right.
He was quiet. He had 2 phones.
Okay.
Okay, so I guess he was just putting numbers in the phones and stuff.
He was doing what?
They just like switching the numbers, putting numbers in the phone, another phone.
Okay, so he has 2 phones in front of you. And it looks like he's taking numbers from one and putting it in the other?
Yeah.
Okay, now had y'all talked about a phone or anything before?
Nah.
All right, he was bringing your car. You're in the car. He's got 2 phones. Okay. Before this conversation about bringing you a car and stuff, when was the last time you had talked to him?
Probably like 2 or 3 weeks before that.
Okay. All right, so you meet him in the car, he's got the 2 phones, and he's going back and forth with the numbers. Were you asking him what he's doing, or what's going on?
He was just quiet.
Okay. And what are you doing?
I was on my phone.
Okay. So you're sitting there next to him, you're on your phone, and he's doing his number stuff. What happens?
He tell me he was gonna give me the phone. Like social media stuff.
Like that he's going to give you one of his 2 phones. Okay. And you said for social media stuff?
Yeah, posting pictures and checking his emails and stuff like that.
Does your brother have social media?
Got Instagram, yeah.
Okay. In fact, you know your brother, does he go by other names too?
Other than his real name? Straight Drop.
Okay. Straight Drop and sometimes just Drop?
Yeah, that's his real name.
Okay. And when you say give it to you for his social media, what do you mean by that?
Kind of like, I don't know, I guess he was just busy and he just needed me to keep up with like the people that was emailing for like these producers, stuff like that.
All right, so let me back up. He gives you his phone. Because it's the idea that people may be calling or texting or messaging him?
You can say that. But it was just, mainly he just told me that he needed me like to post some stuff.
Okay, so he told you the time that he needed you to use his phone to maybe post some stuff to his social media. Is that
like videos, all this stuff?
Okay. Did you ask him why he couldn't do this himself with his phone?
No.
Okay, but he has this phone in his hand. And he's going to give it to you, and you already have a phone. You don't need a phone.
No, I don't.
The car sounds good. And he wants you to have his phone and maybe post stuff to social media.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You don't ask him why?
No.
Does he provide any explanation?
Other than just for the social media stuff.
Okay. He doesn't say why he needs you to do this rather than him?
No, sir.
Does he tell you that he's getting out of town?
No, sir.
Does he tell you that he's got to lay low?
No, sir.
What happens after he gives you the phone?
Somebody was calling him and stuff, like rushing him to come on.
In the car there?
Mm-hmm.
So he's getting a phone call from while he's in there?
Yeah.
On one phone or the other, do you remember?
I don't know which one.
Okay. And so does that end y'all's little meeting?
Nah.
Okay. What happens?
He's still sitting in the car.
Okay.
Yeah, he was still doing the same thing with the phone.
Still putting numbers back and forth?
I mean, at both the phone, I wasn't looking to see what he was doing, but that's what it looked like he was doing.
Okay.
He was looking at both phones.
Once got done putting numbers or whatever he was doing with both phones at the same time, what happened?
Mm-hmm. Nah, I asked him, was he straight? And he said, yeah. Then they called again, whoever it was, called him again, and he like, here he comes. He got out the car, then he had the key, and I went in the house.
Okay, so he gets out of the car.
Mm-hmm.
Did he get in that white SUV with those other people?
Yeah.
Okay, and you go into the house.
Mm-hmm.
And now you have a car that he's given you.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yes, sir.
And you have a telephone that was his.
Yes, sir.
After you get possession of this phone, do people start trying to contact him on this phone?
Yes, sir.
All right, but you have the phone.
Yes, sir.
What happens when somebody contacts him on the phone that you have?
I text him and tell them that they called or text.
Okay, so if somebody calls him or texts him and you then text him or call him and say, so-and-so just texted or called you, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Were there ever times that somebody would call that phone and then you and your phone would call another phone and put them together so that they could talk?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you could aid in those sort of, sometimes we call them three-way or whatever, conversations between him and other people?
Yes, sir.
Among those sort of three-way conversations, did he ever talk to somebody identified as C?
The name in the phone was C Girl.
Okay. And the voice, was it a male or a woman?
The one time that I did hear it, he would sound like you.
Sound like a dude. At the time, did you know who C was?
No. No, sir.
Do you now know that to be Cornelius?
Yes, sir.
Were you able to hear a conversation going on between Justin on one end of the line and Cornelius, since you all sort of three-way there?
Not like full conversation. No.
Not the full conversation.
No.
Were you able to hear some of the conversation?
Just a little bit. I wasn't really just listening.
Okay. You've been asked before whether or not you heard some of the conversation, correct?
Yes, sir.
And have you described part of the conversation having to do with money?
Yes, sir.
Having to do with getting money to C?
The text message.
The text messages?
Yeah.
And what was it about?
It was like, he just kept saying like, what's up, bro? What's up, bro? What's up, bro? And stuff like that. And I was texting him, my brother, and I was telling him somebody texting me. And he was like, who he is and what he want. And then when I told him, he kept saying like, he loved him and stuff like that. And then he said, have you talked to Unc?
Okay. Did you know who Unc was at that time?
I said, he said, talk to him. Then he said, if you talk to him, tell him I need some money for my little girl's birthday party.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did that make any sense to you?
I I really don't care about it.
About money, though. The money that would be coming from Justin and Unc to this C person.
I don't think it was coming from Justin. I think it was just coming from Unc.
Coming from Unc.
He was telling him to ask Unc.
Okay. So C was asking Justin to ask Unc where the money is. At the time, did you know who Unc was?
No.
Okay. At the time, had you ever even heard of Big Joke?
I knew he was, yeah.
Had you ever met him?
No.
You ever talked to him?
No, sir.
Okay, but you knew his name?
Yeah.
From the rap game and everything else? Did you use that phone like that? I mean, would various people text and call, and you tell your brother, hey, so-and-so text and call?
It was only
It
was a couple people. Yeah.
Couple people? Okay. During the course of doing this, did your brother ever tell you where he was?
Talking about after he left from
He never told you where he was?
No, sir.
Okay. At some point, the police come to you, is that right?
Yes, sir.
They come to your apartment?
Yes, sir.
And they want something you got. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
They want that phone.
Yes, sir.
Your brother's phone.
Yes, sir.
And did you give him that phone?
Yes, sir.
And did you agree with to go back to the station with them and, be interviewed by the police? Did you do that?
They took me there.
They took you there, okay.
Yeah.
They took you there. You turned over the phone and told them about Justin giving it to you.
Yes, sir.
Now, the original reason that he gave you for this phone was so you could do postings on social media and stuff.
Yes, sir.
Did you do postings on social media for him while he was gone?
Yes, sir. It was like 2 pictures.
Which 2 pictures?
It was like a picture of some food, like in a restaurant.
Okay.
And another one was like some shoes.
Okay. So you posted 2 pictures for him. Which would be a picture of some fancy shoes?
Just some Jordans.
Some Jordans. And a picture of some food. And did he ask you to post those pictures?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you also follow his social media? Did you see the stuff he posted on social media?
Yes, sir.
Was he still posting stuff on his social media? But not just you? Like a picture of him in a Rolls Royce, or a picture of him holding tens and tens of thousands of dollars?
Not like around the time I posted those pictures.
I understand.
Further on down the line, yeah.
Further on down the line. Okay. Before he got arrested.
Yes, sir.
So that's not you posting those pictures.
No, sir.
In fact, I think the police already had the phone at that point.
Yes, sir.
Pass you exhibit 57 and 56. Tell me who's in this picture, if you would. You've seen those before, Jamarcus, is that right?
Yeah.
Who's in those pictures?
Had to sync everything up.
Your brother, Justin?
Still no shoes showing, unfortunately. I I'm intrigued by the fact that we can't see so many witnesses' faces.
How does exhibits return? I'm done asking you questions, Jamarcus.
One moment, Your Honor.
I think he's got his phone in his pocket and he's just fidgeting with it because he's nervous. He doesn't want to be here. That's it. I don't think there's anything nefarious going on there. Oftentimes, witnesses that don't want to be in court might not dress the way that court might want them to dress while they're there.
Good afternoon, Jamarcus. If you don't mind, I'll call you Jamarcus since we have more than one Mr. Johnson in the class. Sir. All right. My name's Luke Evans. I just got maybe just one question for you. Or a couple of questions for you. So you knew Justin to be an aspiring rapper.
Yes, sir.
Correct? He was trying to get signed.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Had you ever, prior to that date, ran his social media or YouTube before?
Yes, sir.
All right, so that wasn't something, that wasn't a new thing for him to ask you to do?
No, sir.
Okay. All right, thank you very much.
That was quick.
Nothing further, Judge.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson.
That's it.
Yes, sir. Step back.
Okay, so we didn't get to see much of his shoes. I'll show you what we did see just briefly. This was him walking up to the stand. Got quiet again, hang on. Had a little bit of color there. A little bit of bling, a little orange and blue. I'm not sure if that's a, are they wrapped? Are the shoes wrapped? Let's go full screen here. They got a little bling to them. They're pretty nice. They're custom. This isn't. They're pretty cool. All right. So we are done with Jamarcus Johnson. They look like Air Max 95s. Hey, Wall, you would. I trust you here on this one. Let me do a quick Google search on this. Big stretch. Not sure what we're doing here. Another break. Bailiff's opening the door, so it looks like there might be. Look at that key he's got. That is some key. Do you see that? I can see some similarities with the Air Max 95 Premium Atlanta shoes. But I'm not seeing that exact version. But I can see the similarities there. All right, once again, defendant is headed out, which means we might be taking a break. Let's see. Go back one more time and look at how there's a strip going up the middle of the toe panel. I saw that. That was actually what looked like the same. Obviously, there are probably a million different designs and color schemes, and sometimes you can get them colored differently. We're in black. We're in black. I'm not sure why. Do we know why he's not permitted to sit with counsel? No, that we just know that the judge ruled that that's where he was going to be. And the jurors were sort of questioning on if they took issue with that. There are about 1 million versions of them. The rear and side air bubbles. Hey, well, you need to be a sneaker geek, right? To figure them out. We've got... are we done for the day? It's 5... Let's see, it's 4:12 in Tennessee. It's 5:12 on the East Coast. Oh no. Amanda, I'm sorry. Aunt passed away at 93 years old. I'm so sorry to hear that. Virtual hugs from all of us. Is it called a sneakerhead? What's the actual term when you have somebody who is really into sneakers, AWOL? Looks like we're done for the day. They fall on just up and stopped. Sneakerhead. Okay. What's the opposite of a sneakerhead? Like someone who grew up wearing hand-me-down shoes. Oh, his name is Scott. The name is Scott. Okay, I was not a sneakerhead. A flip-flop butt would be the opposite. I was a flip-flop butt then. Okay, they didn't warn us, but they wrapped for the day. Is there a name for people who go barefoot everywhere? Yes. What are the people like? Castaway. A castaway goes barefoot everywhere, right? Very abrupt stop. No concern whatsoever for those of us who depend on the audio from court to understand what's happening next. I think they're done. I'm looking on social media. I can't find anything about it. Oh man, Kmart. That's if you wanted the good shoes. Don't get it confused. I'm a New Balance advocate. They used to call them old man shoes, and fast forward now they're cool. I paid $49 for 574. $49 for 574. Now they're $90 due to hype beasts. New Balances are cool again? Man, I've got some pairs I need to dust off. $574 is the model. There is so much in this life that I just do not know anything about, and I didn't know shoes had model numbers. I mean, I knew there was like a year that they came out, but that's about it. Becoming very popular in Ireland. $80 for a pair of New Balance. See, here's the problem. I'm a big guy. I'm tall, and tall, big people need to have big feet. Otherwise, they just sink into the ground. If they had little tiny feet, they would just sink into the ground. So first and foremost, when I'm out shoe shopping, I'm looking for the size. If I can just find my size, that's like, okay, I've got half the battle done. And then I go for comfort. Okay, so I'll try on a couple pairs. That's like, well, I'm looking for a sneaker, or I'm looking for a more dress shoe. I'll try that on. Then, once I've tried it on, I worry about how does it look, or there's never like, will this go? What outfit will this go? That never registers. Never registers. So I wear a 13. And my favorite size 13s that I bought, that I wanted for a very long time and saved up for and got, were Arctic insulated muck boots. Yes, like we're talking like the big, almost knee-high muck boots, insulated for ice fishing. And it is a Bigfoot. It's a Bigfoot. I bought those, and I was so thrilled. And I just found them in my size. And I knew, like, muck boots are like, they're not like snug fitting. They're designed to be quite comfy. And so I bought them without trying them on. And I got home, and my feet fit in them fine. But unfortunately, I used to run cross country in high school. And for some reason, my calf muscles are built like I still run cross country every day. And my calf muscles do not fit inside the muck boots. And so it's like tight on my calf muscles, and perfectly comfy on my feet. Anyway, all right. Now we're talking about shoes. So you'd think we'd switch to OnlyFans. Ada K, welcome. Good to have you here. My son has you beat the size 15.5. That's tough to shop to. Once you get over the 12, shopping gets more difficult. You start having to look for specialty stores and online options. Let's go back to the trial. How do we feel about today? I don't think it really moved the needle a lot. I think for me personally, AWOL, the video is quite compelling. Now, the video, nowhere in the video do we have the defendant holding up his ID or showing his face directly to the camera. And by video, I'm talking about all the video, right? We're talking about the video of the car exchange at Valero. We're talking about the video of the shooting, the video of the interactions at the cousin's house, the elevator in the hallway. All these videos you never really see except for when he's there with his daughter. That's the only time you really see him and say, yeah, that's a match, right? But all the clothing and the floor level he gets off of, and the time and the back and forth, it just all fits. The pieces fit together so well that I think it would be an easy sell for the prosecution to say, we've proved it. And, it's beyond reasonable doubt. So that video has been the most influential bit of testimony for me. Honestly, I've been unimpressed with a lot of the testimony we've heard from the investigator. I wanted more facts. I wanted more details from the medical examiner. I wanted more details as well. And we got just like the bare minimum for a lot of those. And we've had very reluctant witnesses, which has been very difficult to get testimony out of. So the testimony we've heard from the stand has not been very compelling. The video has for me. And nothing I've heard has really pushed me back towards the other side, where the defense is saying it wasn't me. I'm saying, well, but it looks like it was. Let's see, we've got a call come in, and we might have somebody with a different opinion here. Let's see. Hey, hang on one second. Let me plug in my phone so I can hear you here. Hello, hello. Are you there?
Hello.
Hey.
Hey, what's up, Scott?
Hey, is this AWOL?
AWOL.
AWOL, thank you very much. I never knew you knew so much about shoes, like sneakers, particularly. That's
like I said, I've been breakdancing since 1996, and I used to own a skate shop, and I dealt with a couple of meetings in New York with Nike, and a lot of my friends are sneaker collectors. I messed up a lot of collectibles that were probably worth $2,000 now, but since I'm a breakdancer, I danced in them.
You need them.
Which is probably not the smartest decision.
That's what they're for.
Oh well.
Yeah.
I use them. So
yeah, that's awesome. So
but beyond that, as far as this trial, you were saying, I don't know if there's any clear-cut evidence that it was him. Am I wrong?
We've got his family that is testifying against him. We've got
not a good look.
We've got the co-shooter who has every reason to lie, but is also testifying against him.
Fact.
So there's some people we might question, but the family's a strong one. And we've got the video which matches up. We haven't got to his cell phone yet. We're going to get to his cell phone and all that other thing. So
wow.
I think the problem was he didn't dump the phone. They dumped the guns wherever. I mean, they might still be on the street. They might be at the bottom of a river somewhere.
But like you said, with the heavy bag.
Mm-hmm. I think that's where the guns went. But they probably got moved. They could have been. I mean, a lot of stuff like that gets moved to a far different area, and it's like, hey, just take it out of the area, and then we're good. So, but I don't know. I think there's more compelling evidence digitally that's going to come. But honestly, when it comes to video, we did see the Tellus trial in Las Vegas. It seemed to have a lot of video, but this is high quality video. This is recognized face. This is read license plate type video, and so that is pretty compelling. And we can follow from start to finish, being able to track him down in the timeline of where he would be and when he got there and pulled in, and the outfit he's wearing, and then leaves in, and the change of the colors, and where he shows up in the same stuff. So I think I would say that the video is more. I'd say more than circumstantial. I'd say it's compelling.
Right, you are correct. And we are in chat almost all correct that he probably did it, right?
I would say for me it's beyond reasonable doubt.
Perfect. Okay, let's go with that. Mm-hmm. Beyond reasonable doubt, yes, he did it. Unless they prove it otherwise, but
yeah,
that's going to be tough to do.
It is tough. The video is a hard thing to fight against. But, if you have a doppelganger that commits a crime, that's basically what he's saying. It's somebody that looks like me, somebody that dressed like me, but the way I look, everyone knows, and the way I dress, everyone knows, and it could have been somebody who was literally trying to frame me. Maybe they'll try to run with that. We'll see what happens with the defense. But the defense has had a hard time really chipping away at any of the witnesses, even though there hasn't been really like solid witness testimony that really was like mic drop moment type stuff. But defense just seems like they're probing, hoping for something and not finding any hold. So they don't seem like.
I mean, at this point, correct. I'm sorry.
Well, go ahead. I've talked enough.
Right. So I see. No. It's your channel. I see a lot of comments saying, why would you even try? I mean, as true crime fans, we should know as trial watchers, you are innocent until proven guilty.
Right. So
why not try? We don't know if a mistrial can happen. We don't know what the appeal process can be. The DA could do something. The prosecutors can do something to where even if he is guilty, he might get let off based off of a pure mistake. So you might as well try if you are presumed innocent.
That goes back to the argument you hear a lot from defense attorneys, right? When you talk to an attorney who's like, you're defending criminals, right? You go to him and you say, your job is to let the bad guy off or get the bad guy off. That's the public perception of a criminal defense attorney. But they look at it differently. And they say, no, my job is to hold the state to its burden, to make sure that an innocent guy doesn't go to prison. And so I can't fault anybody, even if there's strong evidence against them, from just saying, look, I'm going to hold the state to its burden. This is what they have to do. This is their job. This is what the law says they have to do in order for me to be incarcerated. I'm not just going to wave a white flag and say, sure, lock me up. Looks like you've got a compelling case.
Right.
So I'm not going to fault him for doing that.
Exactly.
But at the same time, he's probably not too optimistic at winning this one.
He really can't be. He really can't be. I mean, you have a job to do. This is why you spent the money on college. And 12 plus years, 8 plus years, and this is your job. You have a job to do. Yeah. And you can't be morally held to a certain position to have this job as far as a defense attorney is concerned. So he's doing what he has to do. So I don't know. At the end of the day, I think he will get found guilty, because how could you not? The witnesses and everything else is just so compelling that you have to, like you said, reasonable doubt. Come on, you were probably there.
Yeah,
it's tough. It's tough.
It will be a tough one for him. Let me take it aside, a completely unrelated topic. You said college and all the years you spent in education. It reminded me of a little joke we used to tell that said, I loved high school, best 5 years of my life, but. It was almost 5 years.
I breakdanced my whole way through it, but I graduated.
The joke is basically that I barely graduated. Took a little longer than normal, but loved summer school. Summer school was great. Hey, well, I appreciate your hip hop connection and how you're spelling some things out to some of us who are not quite as hip or hop as some of the the people here in this case. So. Thank you very much. Appreciate the call. And thanks for all your chats.
And I just want to say one more thing really quick. I'm going to try to make this as concise as possible.
Sure.
Some of us might not be from certain cultures and communities, and we may not understand people. And I don't mean language. I mean just how they live,
right,
which is acceptable, because I do not know how somebody in the hills of West Virginia lives. I don't know how a Californian lives. I don't know how a Texan lives. But with that being said, we should just acknowledge the fact that we don't know how they live. We don't know that culture, society, and their rules of engagement with each other in the community. Mm-hmm. So as true crime and trial watchers, I think we need to take a step back and recognize that we might not be from that culture, but doesn't mean that our stance is correct. We need to steelman their side of the argument and see it clearer.
Yeah, it might seem normal for us and weird for them, but they look at us the exact same way and say, well, I'm normal and you're weird. It's just our norms. I have to ask you, Amber put me up to this. You mentioned break dancing. We just had the Olympics this last year, and there was a particular country that sent a break dancer that received a lot of negative press.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Okay, without naming Australia directly, what were your thoughts on that one?
I'm not mad at her per se. She knew what she was doing prior coming into this. She, in her mind, she was doing an artistic expression of Australia, not per se breakdancing. This is a problem. You can't. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
You're right, and I will acknowledge this. That if you look at this in the artistic meaning, just like this is like interpretive dance. Okay, look at it as interpretive dance.
She was doing contemporary,
very much
type of dancing. She was yes, and this is not what this battle was, and I was totally against it. I did a lot of shows. I danced at Madison Square Garden. I had a chance to do the halftime show for the Knicks. I practiced 3 months with my friends and my crew for that, and we failed for a reason that I don't want to discuss right now. It's a long story. I'll tell you another day. But I have been doing this for a long time. And I was upset that it was in the Olympics because I didn't think that they were going to represent and I say my, not as in ownership,
right?
But it's in my culture, as in this is what I live.
Yeah.
I live. I wear my sneakers a certain way. I wear my clothes a certain way. I listen to certain music. I am hip hop. So when she did what she did, and the Olympics had it, I got upset. But when I watched it reluctantly, I wasn't upset.
Yeah.
The B-boys and B-girls that went there and performed did an amazing job. And I swallowed my words, and I felt dumb. And I said, oh, man, I was a hater. I should have watched it first before opening my mouth. So I swallowed my words. I felt bad about it. But like I said, you know me, Scott, I don't have a problem changing my opinion.
Yep.
I was wrong. They did a good job. So whatever she did, however she feels that is her expression, was it breakdancing? No, it was not.
Yeah. I'm with you on that one.
I'll say that.
Thank you. AWOL,
anyway,
it's always great talking to you. Thank you very much for calling in. Appreciate it, man.
Yes, sir. Be safe.
Yep. Love you, man. Bye.
Yes, sir. Peace.
All right, I was going to say, I mean, if we're on a video chat, I would say, can you do like the wave with your arm where I have zero breakdancing skills, zero. When I was a kid, we actually traveled to Norway when I was a kid for 11 weeks or something. We went there, and in the summer, the whole summer, we spent the summer in Norway. And the neighbor kid, I think his name was Paul. I think he spoke like zero English. But he was so cool because he knew how to break dance. And I remember him doing the breakdancing moves and stuff and spinning around. His legs were swinging around in the air, but only his hands were touching the ground. It was that guy could walk on water, according to me. Plus he'd dive in the fjords and shoot fish with like a spear and everything. The guy was just so cool. Anyway, we need videos of breakdancing from AWOL for sure. All right, I'm not sure why we're talking about this. Amber, it's your fault. It's your fault, Amber. This is not a podcast. It's not a podcast. We're supposed to talk about true crime here. So we're gonna wrap up. They are done for the day in Tennessee. I think we're back tomorrow. That's the plan anyway. And we're gonna be back with more trial out of Tennessee. And this trial is growing on me. Like I'm invested in it. I'm getting sucked in, even though there's not some of the elements that we love. I mean, we don't have the spiciness we've seen in, Cedric Simpson's court. We don't have the faces of witnesses that we see in almost any other court. But I am getting sucked in a little bit, and so I'm looking forward to it tomorrow as well. All right. Does falling and breaking an arm while dancing count? Yeah, I think that would count. Trial TV Live, thank you very much. I don't need time. As soon as the live stops, give me a call. That would be great. Never seen you doze off. Maybe that's why I'm getting my rest during this trial. There are some slow moments for sure. I'm just checking my eyelids for leaks, and it's good. It's like preparing to repair the roof is what I'm doing. All right, tonight when you go home, please hug the people you love, smile at someone, make their day just a little bit better, and please stay safe till we go live again tomorrow morning about the same time with day 3 of Tennessee versus Justin Johnson. You guys are amazing. Thank you very much for spending the day with us. Remember the people who have shared some of the hardships they're going through in life. Your thoughts and prayers tonight, that would be great. We've got some great friends that are going through some hard times, so please be thinking of them tonight. We'd appreciate that. It's the chocolate that did it. It's the chocolate. Thank you. All right, good night. Ireland's Princess, thank you for being here. Can we watch Karen Reed in the morning? Or Corey Richins? Oh, Corey Richins is available. Let me watch it first. But I think it's just those 2 issues, really. It's whether or not she gets bail and the other issue. What was the other issue? Ashley. Oh, change of venue. Yes. So we'll watch. I'll look at that tonight. If it's something spicy or good, we'll watch it. Start earlier in the morning, watch that, and then start the Tennessee Trail. So we'll at least have some spiciness for us. All right, everybody, have yourselves a fabulous night. I'm going to miss the post here, but I got it. All right. We'll see y'all.